Now, the thing with forgiveness is you will see that you have an attachment to either yourself or someone else. And that attachment can be quite strong. And you have a memory of something somebody did that you didn't really like very much. I mean, it could be a very violent thing, or it could be a very heavy emotional thing. It doesn't really matter what it is. That's the content. What your job is to forgive that person for causing you pain. You forgive yourself for causing yourself pain. You forgive somebody else for causing you pain. And you hear them say back to you, I forgive you too. And that's how you let go. That's how you let go of these old attachments. And every time you do that, you will feel a sense of relief. Ah, all right. And you don't have any hard feelings towards that person. Now, there was one lady that came to me, and she had been raped. And she really, really had a very big dislike and anger towards the person that did it to her. So she worked with it for a period of days. I don't remember exactly. It was like 2 weeks or something. And she finally was able to forgive him. And she said, what happens if I see him again? I said, you're not going to run up and give him a hug, but you can avoid, so something like that won't even happen again. But you don't need to hate that person, hate the act, but let go of the hatred. So you're letting go of your attachment to that person. And when you do that, it clears your mind up very, very much. Not just a little bit. Your mind becomes super clear. And you know what is the right action to take when you get in a situation. So this is how you overcome sadness, this is how you overcome depression, this is how you overcome fear and hatred and anxiety, is by forgiving and allowing that person to be. I was talking, when was it, last night? About couples. You're always like that. You want to keep them acting in the same way over and over and over again? You hold that image of them always being that way, and they will not disappoint you. They will act that way. But when you forgive them, you're giving them the space to act differently. You're not holding them like they were in a diamond or something, and they couldn't move. When you forgive them and allow that person to be able to act in a more natural way, then there's more harmony in with you and with the other person. And that harmony starts to spread out, not only with you two, you're as a couple, but that harmony starts to spread out to kids, and it starts to spread out to other people around you. What you think and ponder on, that's the inclination of your mind, right? If you think and ponder on how this person always acts this way and how you really don't like it, well, your mind is thinking and pondering on them being that way, and they will really be that way. But when you start to relax your thinking about them, and you start having a mind that has more equanimity in it, this is what loving kindness leads to. This is what forgiveness leads to. And loving kindness and forgiveness are just different aspects of the same thing. Okay? Loving kindness is a softening of your personality. Forgiveness, when you actually forgive, there's a softening of the personality. And there's more spaciousness in your mind. And that's the whole point of doing the forgiveness meditation. Now, I did this for a couple of years because I wanted to delve in and really understand what loving kindness and forgiveness was all about. And when my father died, I was 13 years old. And I was his favorite. Of all my brothers, I was his favorite. And I knew I was his favorite. And he would do things like, he had to travel on his job, and he would take me out of school so I could travel with him. So when he died, I was angry at him for leaving. Now, isn't that odd to be angry at somebody because they did something that was out of their own control? And I held on to that. And that anger turned into a lot of sadness and depression and all kinds of really unwholesome, unpleasant things coming up in my mind as I was growing up as a teenager. And I held on to that anger and dissatisfaction for a long time until I started forgiving. And then I started seeing the sense of, well, it wasn't his fault. Why should I be angry at him? Where does this anger come from? Why does it arise? Don't really need to have it around anymore. But I was attached because those are the thoughts that came up first right as he died. I didn't like that situation. I didn't want to be around that situation. And I was angry because he wasn't going to be able to raise me in the hardest part of being a human being, being a teenager. He wasn't going to be around. And I missed him incredibly. So I had to forgive him for all of that. And was I forgiving him? Not really. I was forgiving myself. And then that softens your personality. And you start to have a more accepting mind of being around those kind of situations. So as I grew up and I started being an adult, I started seeing the importance of being around people when they died, so that they could die with a happy, uplifted mind. And there's a thing in Buddhism, it's called the 5 visions of the afterlife. A lot of people, not everyone, but almost everyone, has a vision right before they die. And their last thought is the thing that says what realm they're going to be reborn in. Okay? If somebody has a dissatisfaction thought as they're dying, the dislike thought, then they're probably going to be reborn in a hell realm. And it's going to last for a little period of time, however long. And then they'll be reborn into another realm, and they'll stay on the wheel of samsara. Now, sometimes people have a thought of material things. They have some greed in their mind. Like there was in India, Bangladesh, there was a man, their custom is that when they die on this mattress, that gets cremated with them. And it was a brand new mattress. And this man had a thought about that, wanting to be pulled off of that mattress and put on an old one so that his family could have this other mattress. And he saw a real scary